Basketball. Everybody's favorite game where a ball goes in the basket. A sport full of rules, regulations, and laser-like precision. But it isn't all free throws and Gatorade advertisements, because basketball as a form of play is an art form, which is showcased better than anywhere else in the realm of street ball. And where there's a sport, you better believe there's a video game of it. Let me learn you some history. Our story begins in Harlem, New York City, with a man named Holcomb Rucker. Rucker was a local teacher and playground director, and he saw fit to develop an effort to give less fortunate kids a chance to stay off the streets. He founded the annual summer basketball tournament held at a local park that quickly developed a reputation for being the place to see the height of basketball talent. In 1974, the park where all of this took place was named Rucker Park after the man who inspired so many. Over the years, the tournament attracted professional ballers to test their skills against the locals. This variation of basketball, commonly referred to as street ball, stood in stark contrast to the organized game played within the NBA. Street ball favored spectacle and skill over rules and technicalities, making basketball less about the score and more about the feeling. Notable figures like airline pilot Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and record producer Dr. J, and none other than the legendary Hawthorne Wingo, brought high levels of athleticism and mixed that in with the signature moves of street ball, turning it into a spectacle that drew in large crowds of fans. Over the decades, street ball has remained a worldwide pastime and has become an art form enjoyed by millions with notable exhibitions like And One Mixtape. Alright, enough history and setup. Now it's time to talk about my most played GameCube game. And you're probably thinking, what? This is your most played game? Well, I had a very limited library on the GameCube back in the day, so a lot of my hours were dumped into this one.
EA Sports. Big.
NBA Street is unequivocally the street ball video game series. It's far from the likes of NBA 2K and NBA Jam. It captures the street ball vibe and turns it into a game anyone can pick up and feel like a pro baller. You heard me, this game really makes you feel like a baller. Now let's analyze the game and see how it accomplishes this. Right away, we get one of my favorite opening cutscenes in sports games. We're at the aforementioned Rucker Park, where a DJ spins the Herbalizer's Who's the Realest. We see a dense crowd eager to see the max skills of the ballers playing this evening. The players come in and throw down some stellar dunks and tricks, all while the rapper spits verses about never seeing eye to eye with the likes of these because they're too technical. In other words, these players are in a league of their own. We transition into a quick loading screen showing off NBA Street's all-star cast, and are then greeted with a start screen with the game's title written in stylized graffiti. Already, we are immersed with all the principles that make up the street ball aesthetic. Even the main menu works to get the player amped up. We see a horizontal panoramic view of an urban landscape, street ball's prolific setting. The music is a quiet but energizing continuation of the Herbalizer's tune from the intro. We'll discuss some of these game modes in a moment, but I'd like to analyze the gameplay itself alongside the visuals and sounds. So if you didn't know, NBA Street games and most street ball games are set up as a 3-on-3. Once we pick our players, choose the court we want to play on, gotta make sure we turn on unlimited turbo, we dive right into the game. Oh, and don't forget to turn off the DJ. He gets really annoying really fast. And here we are, virtual participants, expressing ourselves through button press and ball handling. As a game, NBA Street is easy to learn but tough to master. Each game plays to 21, with any shot within the arc counting as 1 point, and long distance shots as 2. There is a motivator to pull off as many high-scoring tricks and dunks possible, since a point value is assigned to almost every action in the game. These points add up to give you the game breaker feature, letting you steal a point if you time it right. The suite of ball handling tricks can keep your opponent at bay, but a well-timed steal attempt against another player with poor handling can result in an easy turnover. In the game, every court has been imbued with moon gravity, allowing all players to jump over a dozen feet into the air. And I absolutely love this because it encapsulates the feeling of being a kid and watching someone so much taller than you jump so high into the air to dunk the ball. While recording this, I had the worst run of my life. So here you go. Enjoy my anti-highlight reel. The turbo mechanic allows players to run faster as well as to perform different combos of tricks, dunks, and shots. The game has 3 turbo buttons, 2 trick buttons, and 1 shot button. When I hold down any 2 turbos at the same time, I get a new trick that's even more effective at knocking my opponents off balance, as well as an increase of score. To keep the game relatively balanced, these scores have diminishing returns. It's an effective bit of game design that rewards the player for experimentation and mastery. With the same principle, you can access dunks with higher point values as well as flashier jump shot techniques like the one-handed or the one-handed with flailing legs for some reason. And that's the game. There's more to it than that though. There is a form of progression that takes the form of the character creator. You make a player, and you run them through the City Circuit game mode, acquiring development points to earn better stats, and to make your player taller, because that's a thing. Play the game enough, and you'll definitely have the best player available, by far. Within the City Circuit game mode also lies a host of unlockable characters. Each team you beat, you can take a player to add to your personal roster, to play alongside your custom guy. After you play against a few NBA teams, featuring a selection of their 2001 rosters, you face off against the Street Legends NBA Street version of the boss fight. Should you win, you recruit them to your team. NBA players are good and all, but the Street Legends certainly live up to their name. Once you clear the entirety of the City Circuit, you get a roster of unlockable characters, only available upon completion, including the mythical Dream Team. This is a game feature that I sorely miss, a staple of arcade game design, rewarding players with hilariously absurd characters or mechanics. In NBA Street, they take the form of Magma Man, Yeti Snowman, and Graylian Alien, easily the best name for an alien ever conceived. These unlockables, on top of the content already on offer, are the cherry on top for an already amazing basketball game. All of this basketball has to be played somewhere, so how do the courts complement the aesthetic? We see cracked concrete, chain link hoops, urban backdrops that drench these courts in atmosphere. The crowds are never composed of more than a couple dozen onlookers, with the exception of Rucker Park, where the game ends and the heart of the sport lives on. Every one of these courts feels like a real place with personality and life. I love that a game with a simple setup like this has 13 different courts, with each one tracking your win streak. There aren't any gameplay advantages involved, as far as I know, so the game invites you to build your own legacy wherever you choose. The music and sound design are both on point. The soundtrack helps establish the urban atmosphere with the jazz and funk blending with hip-hop beats, fitting the streetball vibe like a glove. There are no mainstream radio bangers, no aggressive stadium rock. It's more like the kind of music you hear coming out of a boombox at an actual pickup game. The kind of beats that keep your head nodding while schooling amateurs. What's great about the soundtrack too is that it never oversteps. It's not yelling at you to get hyped, it's simply there in the background, holding the whole vibe together. It's confident without being loud, allowing the attention to remain on the ball. No need for overproduced energy anthems, just dusty vinyl loops and smooth drums that make everything feel cooler. And I guess to wrap things up about the analysis, this game is just cool, man. Everything about the whole aesthetic works, and it works so well. And of course, behind every good work of art is an artist, or group of artists, and they deserve some love. NBA Street was developed by Illinois-based developer NewFX and EA Canada. Thanks to social media and numerous journalism outlets, it's a lot easier to know the face behind the game, but back in the day, that wasn't so much in the spotlight. And so I thought it'd be nice to just showcase the credits here. Go ahead and pause, even look some of these people up, see what they're doing nowadays. Good job, guys. Moving on, NBA Street was published by the EA label EA Sports Big. EA Sports Big was responsible for other beloved arcade-style sports games like SSX and NFL Street. I would argue that this era was the prime of the sports video game because they ditched the simulation aspect, trying to emulate the real experience, and embraced the culture of gaming by romanticizing the sport. EA Sports Big isn't the only label responsible for these typical games, as other companies like Midway paved the path with their legendary NFL Blitz series. Now, to wrap this all up, let me say that NBA Street is simply a fun game. It is fun to play, it feels great, it responds terrific. What video games accomplish that no other medium of art can is an intimate relationship between the consumer and the artwork. The player is in control, and the systems the game developer have created are at the total control of the player, resulting in a solo or multiplayer experience of competition against the game itself or each other. NBA Street, alongside many other games, captures this idea in such a pure form. It is virtual basketball stripped down to casual competition with nothing on the line other than bragging rights. NBA Street cares more about the aesthetic experience that comes from the art and joy of play more than anything else. If you don't care about sports at all, you'll still find yourself enjoying this game. What do you think of NBA Street, or arcade sports games in general? Do you prefer them to their more realistic counterparts? Maybe you don't even care about sports at all. Maybe you think this was the stupidest video you've ever seen. Regardless, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.